how big do I make these holes as to not get a restriction? With my trusty tape measure, which is a tad kinked, we know it's just under 70 millimetres. Or about 67, 68. So say we go 70, this is out of the engine manifold. So, back onto this page of technical maths here, if we go pi times it by 70, times that by 70, that equals, I think it's 15,393 or something, I've done it a few times, millimetres squared. So whatever we do, we want to make sure that we don't go less than this figure, we want to actually go more than that. So, I've centre punched here, I've got 50 holes on the bottom, 50 holes on the top. So, just going through my drill bits, I've got ones that are a bit over 10.5 mil. So if I go pi, times it by 10.5, times that by 10.5, that will equal, it equals 17,000, I can't remember, whatever it was, something. So that's way above, well, it's a long way, it's not way above, but it's, so we know we won't get restriction or back pressure building up. Now those of you more astute than me would have realised that pi times 10.5 times 10.5 does not equal 17,000. What you have to do is get the pi times 10.5 times 10.5, that will equal whatever it equals, and I have to times that by 50 for the amount of holes that I'm drilling in there. Amount of 10.5, 10 millimetre, 10.5 millimetre holes in there, and that equals 17,000. Okay, so we've drilled our holes, 50 holes on the bottom, 50 holes on the top. Slice this in half, and I'll put this in here and weld that back on. So the exhaust will come up, through the holes, down, out of one tube, so there's 6-inch bit of tube, and out of that 6-inch will be 9 inches on the outside, come back up, through here there'll be a cap, like the bottom one on top, through this top set of holes and out the top. One of the problems you face when you're an amateur like me is that you don't have all the gear to do everything you need to do, so you've got to make do, which I'm sure most people, if anyone watches this, will be well aware of. So, face these pipes off. I was going to use a steady, but it just don't fit. I actually had it all bolted up before I even bothered to measure it. Then I thought, I'll just get it in the lathe and try facing it off. Well, that didn't work either. So, time for a fresh plan. Now, I've already done one. I'm not allowed to laugh at me. And, watch this. Look at that. And it works. Okay, these two are now welded together. The exhaust will come up through the bottom here, out, down, around, back up, through and out. So, I've got a bit of quality tested 6-inch irrigation pipe. So, that's welded to the bottom, it's all welded together now in one piece. Got to make the outer skin for the can, and I've already got the top bit made. It goes on up there. Can might not be the right word, but that's what I'm using. Problem is, I've only got this 6-inch pipe, and this outside piece is 9 inches. So, what we've got to work out is how much the I'm going to have to get another piece of this 6-inch pipe split it, and then weld a patch in there to make it big enough, like weld another bit of steel in there and sort of flatten it out and make it still look roundish. So I have a plan. If we know, you won't see all this, but pi, the useless maths that I never paid enough attention to, I know going pi times the diameter will give me the radius around the pipe, and I can do that. I've already worked it out and written it on here, but you can't see that. That's how I look intelligent when I speak. And it tells me it should be 20.4, and it is around about 20.4 all the way around, allowing for the bubbles and whatever in the tape measure. And if I take that and work it out on 9-inch for the outside, it'd be 28.2. So that leaves me with 7.8, I think it is, inches wide. So about 7.5 inches, and we can pull it in a bit then, I think. Or do I go a bit under, anyway. A little bit under 8 inches I need to add into the seam. Now I need to make the outside of the can, I reckon about, well, we're going to work at 18 inches, but I reckon it'll have to be about 19 by the time I look at this mess. It's going to be about 19 inches high. Easy part's making the can. So we'll get that done. Yes, we'll make the outside. It's actually coming along better than I thought it would. It's a lot of work in it though. Bugger me. Muffler shop looks really cheap and quick compared to this. Well, maybe not cheap, but it's certainly quicker. Oh. And there is more concerns I've thought about. If you hit something with this and being made out of heavy steel, it'll probably just break the manifold. So I might actually just put little 1/4-inch bolts in there to hold it on, so hopefully something else breaks before it does. Or maybe 5/16. No, something small anyway. It's not going to be very big what I use to hold it all together with, to hold it onto the manifold, because I'm thinking that if I'm out in the bush and I hit something, it's just going to be the end of it in a matter of seconds. Not this, the manifold. Now what we've done, I've skipped a few steps here. We've got a bit of this, hang on. I've got a bit of this 6-inch pipe. We cut off a couple of bits. I think they're 19 inches long. And the diameter has to be 9 inches, which we've been through all that before. So I cut them off, face the main one that's going to be the main one, off in the lathe with the angle grinder again, shock horror to the world. Then with timber wedges, but they're not timber, you know, they're steel wedges used for splitting timber and bits of steel, and the help of someone that turned up here, open this main one up to however big it is, 9 inches around about, and then cut the patch, which I'd worked out earlier, if you remember, from the pi and the maths and everything else, out to a bit under 8 inches. And then I'll stitch this together down each side. I didn't have enough pipe, it has to have a joint somewhere, so it's got a joint in this patch. And then with the help of a front end, bits of steel on the front end loader and hammers and blocks of wood and pipe and everything else, we make it back into a circle again. So then I've lined it up as good as I can on the bottom here, all the way around the circle. Takes a bit of panel beating, and tack welded that in. And then on this end it's not even close, of course, because why would that be so simple? But you can see the patch, you can see the circle, and you can see this is not even close to being in the right spot. But I have a plan, and that's always a good thing. Put the exhausters on.